Chapter 1041, Scouting Further. There's a sacred lord hidden within that secret dimension. The male with red hair and black robes exclaimed. The strength of that sacred lord is not simple. The cold female in the black dress said in a low tone. She didn't think that such a powerful mystic light realm sacred lord would be hidden in the Kang Ocean. Even though her strength was close to the late stages of the mystic light realm, she still felt a strong pressure from this golden figure. When the golden light faded away, a handsome youth with short hair, a tall body, and many flashing golden markings appeared. May I know who you are? The female from Nine Darkness Palace asked. This mystic light realm sacred lord looked to be extremely young, but he was even stronger than Nan Gong-Shang, who had the power of an evil god. Senior Kun Yun, please help resolve the danger to the true martial sacred land. Sacred Lord Xuanming said respectfully. Back when Kun Yun returned to the true martial sacred land, he was unable to enter the demigod Forgotten Garden and had to make an agreement with the 2 3-star powers of the true martial sacred land. The experts of the true martial sacred land worked together to open the demigod Forgotten Garden. Demigod Kun Yun wasn't to trouble the true martial sacred land in the future, and he would owe them a favor in the future. Nan Gong-Shang was slightly stunned. He didn't expect demigod Kun Yun to appear at this moment and help the true martial sacred land. Demigod Kun Yun. The 2 elders from Nine Darkness Palace were stunned. There was a limited number of demigod experts, and they knew all of them. Demigod Kun Yun wasn't just strong in the past, his fame had even traveled to 3-star and 4-star powers. However, neither of them believed that this youth would be demigod Kun Yun. Firstly, demigod Kun Yun had died to the god Tribulation Lightning, but even if he didn't die, he shouldn't be just a late-stage mystic light realm sacred lord after so many years. However, even if they didn't believe that the male in front of them was demigod Kun Yun, the true martial sacred land now had 4 people with the battle power of sacred lords. Nan Gong-Shang's battle power had most likely reached the early stage mystic light realm as well. How dare you go against the orders of Nine Darkness Palace? The red-haired black-robed male roared. If they really started to fight, they would be the ones to lose. After all, this was the true martial sacred land. There were also some powerful quasi-sacred lords, and the 3-star powers most likely had a few hidden cards as well. We shall go back today, and Nine Darkness Palace will simply send out even stronger people to destroy this place. The cold female in the black dress threatened. These 2 had come such a long way. If they ended in failure now, they would become the laughingstock of Nine Darkness Palace's upper echelon. Hearing what the 2 sacred lords from Nine Darkness Palace said, the experts within the true martial sacred land were extremely scared, and the Thousand Darkness sacred clan showed signs of backing away. After all, demigod Kun Yun only owed them a single favor and wouldn't help them next time. Nine Darkness Palace has now dropped to a 3-star power and still dares to be this arrogant? Kun Yun mocked coldly. How dare you mock Nine Darkness Palace? The expression of the cold female in the black dress became ugly. Although they weren't a match, they couldn't allow the opponent to humiliate Nine Darkness Palace. Did you 2 not hear me tell you to fuck off a moment ago? Flashing golden light instantly appeared around Kun Yun's skin, and mysterious golden talismans floated around the air. At the same time, a brilliant golden divine light radiating a desolate power appeared in his hand. The instant this golden divine light appeared, space itself started to tremble, and the 2 sacred lord-level magnificent powers were washed away. It was as if this golden light was the sole existence in heaven and earth right now. This is divine power. The cold female in the black dress trembled as her face became pale white. This power. The red-haired male was stunned as well. This wasn't their first time seeing divine power, so they knew how this power reigned supreme. Senior Kun Yun, this junior did everything on accident. Senior, this junior will immediately leave. The 2 upper echelon members of Nine Darkness Palace bowed and ran away. Thank you for helping, Senior Kun Yun. Sacred Lord Xuanming bowed respectfully. This aura? Kun Yun's gaze suddenly locked onto Nan Gong-Shang. Not good. Sacred Lord Xuanming's heart dropped. Being a sacred lord, he could feel that the power coming from Nan Gong-Shang was even more profound. It had actually surpassed the level of sacred lords. At this moment, the power coming from Nan Gong-Shang's body seemed to have caught the attention of Kun Yun. Did you come back from the continent zone? Kun Yun concealed his aura and approached Nan Gong-Shang. The closer he got, the more shocked Kun Yun was. He could feel that the aura of divine power radiating from Nan Gong-Shang's body was even stronger than the divine power he controlled in his previous life. This meant that Nan Gong-Shang had most likely obtained a complete divine power inheritance. However, this divine power was completely different from demigod Kun Yun's divine power. Besides, Kun Yun only lacked resources. As long as he had enough, he could recover to his peak strength, so he didn't need the power of the evil god from Nan Gong-Shang. Watch out. This person can already use a faint wisp of divine power. The voice of the evil god mental thought body sounded in Nan Gong-Shang's body. Have you heard of someone named Zhao Feng in the continent zone? Kun Yun asked directly, and Sacred Lord Xuanming let out a breath. From the looks of it, Kun Yun was only interested in Zhao Feng, who was also a disciple of the Mystic True Sacred Clan. He never would have thought that the Mystic True Sacred Clan would have two such prodigies at once. I was with him in the Divine Illusion Dimension. Nan Gong-Shang said. Do you know what his cultivation currently is? Kun Yun immediately asked. Although his recovery speed was extremely fast, Kun Yun was still slightly scared of the person that had once enslaved him. Back then, he wasn't even a king yet. Nan Gong-Shang said. Ridiculous. How is that possible? Kun Yun became angry because he thought that Nan Gong-Shang was playing around with him. Nan Gong-Shang then told the story about Zhao Feng having to recultivate. After all, almost no one from the Kang Ocean knew about this. That means he's just an emperor at most right now. Kun Yun's eyes lit up, and he was overjoyed. At the very end, Zhao Feng had been tricked by the Emperor of Death. If Zhao Feng was only an emperor right now, then Kun Yun could play around with him. Kun Yun's cultivation had reached the late stages of the mystic light realm, and he had awakened the memories of his previous life. He had more methods and hidden cards now. His true strength was immeasurable. Whoosh! Kun Yun immediately charged back into the demigod Forgotten Garden with an excited expression, as if he was preparing for something. Grand Elder, I will also be leaving this place soon. Nan Gong-Shang looked at Sacred Lord Xuanming and said. Sacred Lord Xuanming sighed. He had expected this. With Nan Gong-Shang's talent and the fortune that he had met in the Divine Illusion Dimension, he would probably be able to become a god within several thousand years. The true martial sacred land obviously couldn't keep him here. I want to surpass him. Nan Gong-Shang's eyes focused as an invisible wicked power spread. Elsewhere, in the branch of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion in Lian Province, Zhao Feng was also a member of the Mystic True Sacred Clan once. It was because of the Mystic True Sacred Clan that he was able to evade the Emperor of Death and obtain fortune from the demigod Forgotten Garden. Thus, he was very worried about the Mystic True Sacred Clan. However, even if he headed over right now, he would need more than half a year, and everything obviously would have ended by then, so Zhao Feng could only use this time to increase his strength. Increasing his own strength was the only way to make sure he was safe. Zhao Feng focused his eyes and took out several precious resources, then absorbed the elemental power within them to cultivate the 5 elemental wind lightning technique. Zhao Feng hadn't really become much stronger after breaking through from a king to an emperor. After becoming a quasi-sacred lord, only his physical power had increased. However, if he became a true sacred lord, Zhao Feng's strength would increase by leaps and bounds. Only sacred lords had the ability to fight against an entire force such as 9 Darkness Palace. I wonder what demigod Kun Yun is like now. Zhao Feng was slightly worried. As his former master, he knew demigod Kun Yun's progress well, and the latter would definitely come trouble him in the future. All in all, Zhao Feng needed to become a sacred lord as soon as possible to make sure that he could keep himself safe. There was also Zhao Yufei's marriage arrangement and Lu Qinshan's location to deal with. However, breaking through to the mystic light realm wasn't easy, and Zhao Feng hadn't met the requirements yet. It's time to enter the ancient dream realm, Zhao Feng murmured gently. He had been focusing on recovering his strength ever since recultivating. He hadn't explored the ancient dream realm for a long time. With Zhao Feng's current strength, he should be able to walk even further in the ancient dream realm and perhaps find a way to break through to the mystic light realm. Zhao Feng arrived in the ancient dream realm the next instant. The Yao bird, the giant python, and the black eagle that Zhao Feng had enslaved were resting within the forest. Under Zhao Feng's commands, the 2 birds scattered throughout the sky while Zhao Feng and the giant python sped through the forest. There were some beasts and normal animals on the way that were easily finished off by Zhao Feng. He also saw some trees with fruits on them, Zhao Feng put all of them into the misty spatial world. Although he didn't need them anymore, they were extremely attractive to origin core realms and kings. Zhao Feng could use them to create a batch of experts or expand his forces. We've arrived at the depths of this forest, Zhao Feng said in a light tone. Duh. Zhao Feng suddenly heard the flow of a gentle stream and couldn't help but increase his pace. The giant python next to Zhao Feng trembled as if it felt something and was unwilling to proceed forwards. In the sky, the black eagle and Yao bird didn't dare to go any further either. It was as if this was their limit and the place in front of them was forbidden. Roar tilde. A deafening roar suddenly sounded. Whoosh. A golden red figure with a terrifying physical aura charged at Zhao Feng. This is. Zhao Feng immediately circulated the sacred lightning body and punched out, clashing with the golden red figure. A flaming tiger with a pair of golden wings and a snarling expression appeared before Zhao Feng. The python behind Zhao Feng curled into a ball. Boom. Zhao Feng forced this beast back with his punch, but the beast's state of existence and defense were extremely strong. It steadied itself, then flew into the sky. This beast seems a bit familiar. This was the first time he had met a mutated beast in the ancient dream realm. The Yao bird, giant python, and black eagle were all normal animals. Could this be the golden-winged scarlet tiger from the 10,000 ancient races? Zhao Feng was stunned as he found a beast from the 10,000 ancient races ranking. Could all the mutated beasts here be legendary races from the 10,000 ancient races? Chapter 1042, Evidence. The golden-winged scarlet tiger race was ranked around 9,800th or so among the 10,000 ancient races. However, the true power of this golden-winged scarlet tiger in front of Zhao Feng was able to fight against the sky-shaking golden apes that had the Power Force apes bloodline in them. One had to know that the ranking of the Power Force apes bloodline was ranked 421st. The difference in ranking between the two races was extremely big, but the feeling this golden-winged scarlet tiger gave Zhao Feng was that it was very forceful and had a fierce aura. This should be related to the body and bloodline. Zhao Feng's eyes focused. The flesh of a normal animal within the ancient dream realm was very useful for someone that wasn't a king yet. In terms of bloodline, the humans or beasts in the continent zone had all absorbed or awakened some form of very weak ancient bloodline. However, the golden-winged scarlet tiger in front of Zhao Feng possibly had the complete bloodline of the golden-winged scarlet tiger race bloodline. Such an ancient being couldn't exist in the continent zone. I wonder how the meat of this golden-winged scarlet tiger is? Zhao Feng thought about the first animal he had killed here, a snake. Back then, the little thieving cat fought with little Kun Yun over the flesh. What about a race with a full bloodline of the 10,000 ancient races? Excitement flashed through Zhao Feng's eyes. Roar tilde. The golden-winged scarlet tiger left behind a trail of scarlet golden light in the air and sped toward Zhao Feng. Wang tilde wang tilde wang. Zhao Feng circulated his sacred lightning body at full power and didn't hold back. Sacred lightning palm. Zhao Feng casually thrust out a palm and unleashed a scarlet golden palm the size of a human. Boom. The golden-winged scarlet tiger was once again pushed back by Zhao Feng. Roar. Wariness appeared in the eyes of the golden-winged scarlet tiger, but it soon turned into ferocity. Wang tilde. Golden light flashed around the golden-winged scarlet tiger. At this moment, it was like all its power had increased. What a powerful bloodline power! Zhao Feng couldn't help but exclaim. The battle power of experts or beasts with ancient bloodlines in the continent zone would only become slightly stronger when using their bloodline power, but the golden-winged scarlet tiger, which was only ranked in the 9,000s, had its battle power almost double after using its bloodline. Even Zhao Feng could only become 50% stronger at most when using his perfect blood devil sun bloodline. But the more surprises the golden-winged scarlet tiger gave Zhao Feng, the more interested Zhao Feng was in tasting it. Who? A blood-red glass-like flame spread across Zhao Feng's body. Zhao Feng circulated his blood devil sun bloodline and clashed with the golden-winged scarlet tiger. Boom. Part of the golden-winged scarlet tiger's body was ignited by Zhao Feng's flames, but at the same time, after using its bloodline power, the golden-winged scarlet tiger managed to leave behind a wound on Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body. Chaotic soul days. A strong surge of eye bloodline power appeared from Zhao Feng's left eye, and the golden-winged scarlet tiger's soul instantly started to become chaotic, causing it to lose control over its body. Illusion Soul Charge. Zhao Feng used another Tao of Illusion I bloodline technique. In Sacred Lord Star Demon's collection, there were many books regarding the soul, the Tao of Illusions, and I bloodlines. Zhao Feng learned soul techniques and I bloodline techniques extremely easily. Wind Lightning Eye Flame. Fire started to burn in Zhao Feng's left eye as a crystalline purple light flowed alongside wisps of God Tribulation lightning symbols. Whoosh tilde. A ball of transparent dark lightning fire with a destructive aura landed on the golden-winged scarlet tiger's head. Roar tilde. The golden-winged scarlet tiger instantly started to howl in pain. Roar roar. Several angered roars sounded from the depths of the forest. A sound wave swept toward Zhao Feng. Not good. If the golden-winged scarlet tiger is from an ancient race, there should be other golden-winged scarlet tigers nearby. Zhao Feng's heart shook. Boom. Whoosh. Whoosh. Zhao Feng immediately used his sky-destroying sacred lightning palm and the wind lightning eye flame to kill the golden-winged scarlet tiger. Hu tilde. Zhao Feng grabbed the golden-winged scarlet tiger and disappeared. At the same time, two even bigger golden-winged scarlet tigers appeared, but they found nothing. They talked with one another before howling in anger. Within the misty spatial world. Meow meow. The little thieving cat instantly came over when Zhao Feng appeared. Its treasure-like black eyes spun as it held a sharp little knife in its paw, and saliva flowed out of its mouth. Wait. Zhao Feng immediately stopped the little thieving cat. A transparent glass bottle appeared in Zhao Feng's hand. Zhao Feng used the glass bottle to store the golden-winged scarlet tiger's blood. Zhao Feng stopped after filling up the bottle. I'll let you take care of it, but don't you dare eat it all yourself. Zhao Feng warned the little thieving cat. In the fight against the golden-winged scarlet tiger just now, Zhao Feng used the wind lightning eye flame against its flesh, but that didn't do too much damage. From this, it was easy to see that the flesh would be very hard to cook. Meow meow. The little thieving cat waved the little sharp knife in its paw. It suggested to slowly cut the animal, then cook it slowly as well. Great, we'll do that then. Zhao Feng agreed and let the little thieving cat handle the golden-winged scarlet tiger. Zhao Feng then came to the other side of the misty spatial world and looked at the blood of the golden-winged scarlet tiger in the bottle. The bloodline power in here was extremely dense. It gave off an original and desolate aura. Zhao Feng took out a few drops and painted them over his body as he circulated his sacred lightning body. It's effective. Zhao Feng felt that his body was absorbing this bloodline power extremely quickly, and although it was slightly less effective, it was also healing Zhao Feng's body, blood, and organs. Zhao Feng took out 10% of the blood from the golden-winged scarlet tiger and wiped it on himself. This time, Zhao Feng didn't use the sacred lightning body, instead, he used his blood devil sun bloodline. Hu tilde. The bloodline of the golden-winged scarlet tiger slowly merged into Zhao Feng's blood devil sun bloodline. Whoosh. The flames around Zhao Feng suddenly became stronger. It seems to be able to increase the rate at which I can refine my bloodline. Zhao Feng revealed a joyful expression. Several hours later, the little thieving cat held a platter of fresh and tender meat and gave it to Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng immediately took a piece and went to test its flavor. It's more than 4 times as effective as the ancient dream realm fruits, and it contains a very pure energy. Zhao Feng's expression froze as he circulated his true yuan to absorb the energy. He had absorbed too many ancient genes and had used countless pressure resources. Thus, the meat of the tiger wasn't very effective. Zhao Feng also guessed that the power of the golden-winged scarlet tiger's flesh was mainly due to its bloodline power, rather than the flesh itself. Although it is weaker and less effective, it is several times better than the resources we bought at the Lan Province War Hall. Zhao Feng was satisfied. He took a risk killing the golden-winged scarlet tiger. It would be more difficult to kill another golden-winged scarlet tiger. Zhao Feng had thought about enslaving the golden-winged scarlet tiger instead, but he immediately stopped. If the enslaved golden-winged scarlet tiger had an accident and the dark heart seal faded like demigod Kun Yun and was then found by some other beast tamer, the secret of Zhao Feng's ancient dream realm would be revealed to all. Therefore, Zhao Feng only enslaved the Yao bird, black eagle, and the giant python, and he almost never let them out to fight. On the other side, the little thieving cat ate all of the remaining meat while Zhao Feng wasn't paying attention, then hid and went to sleep. A month later, Zhao Feng's 5-elemental wind lightning technique had reached the peak of the 8th level with the help of large amounts of resources. Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat finished eating the meat of the golden-winged scarlet tiger, and both of them became stronger. Eventually, Zhao Feng sensed something in the outside world and left the misty spatial world. Someone from Nine Darkness Palace is finally here. Zhao Feng could feel a powerful demonic aura. Sacred Lord from Nine Darkness Palace, welcome. However, this is the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, so please conceal your aura. Zhao Feng's voice sounded in a quiet hall as a figure appeared. Zhao Feng felt the terrifying demonic aura and released a powerful force from his own body, allowing him to remain stable. Over the past couple weeks, Zhao Feng had absorbed the essence of the golden-winged scarlet tiger, so his body and foundation had both become much stronger. Zhao Feng, you're really daring, aren't you? How dare you touch a subordinate force of Nine Darkness Palace? Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss voice sounded. The Grand Elder of Dark Sky Gate personally admitted his wrongdoings and chose to repay the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Zhao Feng's gaze sharpened. He had heard Duke Nanfeng and Bai Kuang Yue talk of Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss before. He was one of the upper echelon members of Nine Darkness Palace that had blocked the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion that day. If it wasn't for the Little Sword Saint, Zhao Feng's forces would have already been crushed by Nine Darkness Palace. Zhao Feng, don't even try to argue. If you didn't threaten Sacred Lord Dark Ghost, would he admit to those so-called mistakes? Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss glared at Zhao Feng and released a mental energy pressure, but Zhao Feng's expression remained the same. This junior. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss was faintly surprised. Only a few years had passed, but Zhao Feng was even stronger. Zhao Feng could ignore both his physical and mental energy pressures. I have evidence of those so-called mistakes of him trying to blame the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. A faint smile formed on Zhao Feng's face. Evidence? Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss paused. Everyone involved in trying to blame the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had already been killed, and Zhao Feng only just came back from the front lines. How could he possibly have any evidence? Ridiculous. Zhao Feng, don't try to twist reality. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss roared in anger as he spread his demonic Tao pressure and made the sky turn dark. If it wasn't for the fact that Zhao Feng's body was so strong, he would be unable to withstand this pressure. Whoosh! Within the misty spatial world, the black-armored Sacred Lord released a cold beam of light that shot out from Zhao Feng's arm guard and formed a screen in the air. Many quasi-Sacred Lords and Sacred Lords appeared on the screen. Leave this to me. I'll just capture a few random members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, kill them, then blame it all on them. Sacred Lord Dark Ghost's voice sounded from the screen. Zhao Feng smiled faintly as he looked at Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss expression. This scene was from the memories of the black-armored Sacred Lord. Chapter 1043, Hall of Gods. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss froze as he looked at the scene. The content of this image was a meeting from when the forces that supported the 13th Prince discussed how to deal with Zhao Feng. The people that appeared were all representatives of the forces that supported the 13th Prince. Even the black-armored Sacred Lord from Nine Darkness Palace was present. How did Zhao Feng have this? Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss was puzzled. That aura? Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss sensed something after the shock passed. A powerful demonic Tao aura was contained within the cold light that shot out of Zhao Feng's arm guard. From this aura alone, Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss could confirm that the owner of this aura was someone that cultivated the secret technique of Nine Darkness Palace. Was there a spy in Nine Darkness Palace? Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss' expression was extremely grim. No wonder the assassination attempt failed. Zhao Feng shouldn't have been able to escape from 3 Sacred Lords and the evil Deathian Spiritor A. Zhao Feng, hand that person over. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss had a cold gaze as he circulated his mystic light sacred power and was about to unleash his power. In the scene, the forces were only discussing how to deal with Zhao Feng. None of them mentioned the Crown Prince. However, it would be horrible if the spy had evidence of Nine Darkness Palace planning to do something to the Crown Prince. Zhao Feng's calmness made Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss feel uneasy. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss, the participants of the assassination all seem to come from forces that support the 13th Prince. Zhao Feng didn't bother with Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss and spoke in a slightly threatening tone. Humph, this is a personal issue of Nine Darkness Palace. Nine Darkness Palace simply recruited those forces. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss explained. As long as it wasn't related to the Imperials, Nine Darkness Palace wasn't scared of anything in the Continent Zone. Since you admit that everything was planned by Nine Darkness Palace, then this matter can't just end here. Zhao Feng revealed a smile. Ha ha ha. You don't have the right to negotiate with me. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss laughed. Zhao Feng's tone made it seem like he was negotiating with Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss, suggesting that he wanted compensation for the assassination. Furthermore, I'll be saying this one last time, hand that person over. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss had a cold expression as killing intent spread. From the scene just now, he could tell that the spy of Nine Darkness Palace was in Zhao Feng's misty spatial world right now. If Zhao Feng wasn't willing to hand over the misty spatial world, then he would just have to steal it away or kill Zhao Feng. The atmosphere within the hall was as tense as night. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss, does Nine Darkness Palace really think that I used the last god-slaying arrow? Zhao Feng asked Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss in a cold tone, causing the latter to pause. According to their intel and analysis, the upper echelons of many forces guessed that Zhao Feng had used the god-slaying arrow. However, no one actually saw it, so no one could prove that was the case. You couldn't have defeated Sacred Lord Myriad Forms with your own strength. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss didn't reply to what Zhao Feng asked. Sacred Lord Myriad Forms was a non-human Sacred Lord with the eyes of Myriad Forms. His true strength could allow him to fight against Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss, who is at the late stages of the Mystic Light Realm. Then how about you give it a try? Zhao Feng laughed wickedly. Whoosh. The hall became dead silent. If Zhao Feng hadn't warned him, Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss would have taken action already, but Zhao Feng mentioned the god-slaying arrow. Although Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss didn't believe that Zhao Feng still had it, he didn't want to risk his own life over it. It had taken him a long time to reach the late stages of the Mystic Light Realm, and he even had hopes of touching the domain of gods. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss didn't want to joke around with his life. Zhao Feng, you won't be able to live very long after becoming Nine Darkness Palace's enemy. Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss disappeared the very next instant and only left behind a voice ringing across the entire Ocean Smoke Pavilion branch. The black-armored Sacred Lord was sweating coldly for Zhao Feng within the misty spatial world. Master, do you really have a god-slaying arrow? The black-armored Sacred Lord asked. He was curious as well. Yes. Zhao Feng didn't hide anything. Nine Darkness Palace shouldn't chase after Master for a while. If Master can quickly become a Sacred Lord, you'll have a better chance against Nine Darkness Palace. The black-armored Sacred Lord suggested. He believed that Sacred Lord Demonic Abyss would soon find out he was the traitor after going back and checking. After all, not many people from Nine Darkness Palace had participated in the assassination, and he hadn't returned since. Humph, I'll be causing trouble for Nine Darkness Palace right now. Zhao Feng's eyes focused. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion wasn't a weak two-star force anymore. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion now included the 10,000 Sacred Clan, the Ghost Fire Clan, and the underground assassination organization created by Supreme Emperor Dark Knight. To a certain degree, all the other forces around the ocean were controlled by the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Adding on the fact that Zhao Feng supplied them with countless resources and that they had the protection of Draconic Providence, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion managed to expand very quickly, and they were almost into the continent zone proper. The main headquarters of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had moved to the continent. It was set in Yu Province where the Ji family was based. The oceans around the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's previous location and around the 10,000 Sacred Clan had become theirs. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion was now considered one of the big forces in the continent zone. Bai Kuang Yue and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight arrived several dozen days later while Old Monster Shi remained in Yu Province. I didn't think that Master would arrive so quickly and finish all our problems. Bai Kuang Yue revealed a guilty expression. Zhao Feng created this force because he wanted an organization to work for him, but Zhao Feng was constantly spending a lot of resources and wealth, and yet his force was just baggage. Zhao Feng constantly needed to save them every time. Master, our assassination organization is starting to become more famous. It's called the Silence Assassination Division. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight reported the situation of the assassination organization to Zhao Feng. It was really easy to expand the assassination organization with the Ocean Smoke Pavilion as the intel headquarters. With the direction of professional assassins and the wealth that Zhao Feng had given them, the Silence Assassination Division stood out from the others. Bai Kuang-yue then told Zhao Feng about the recent expansion progress of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and their future goals. Not bad, Zhao Feng said after listening carefully. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion only became famous due to the Crown Prince trial, and they started to rapidly expand while everyone else was attracted by the war between the two lord dynasties. What Bai Kuang-yue said was more specific than the green-robed elder from before. From now on, this force will be called the Hall of Gods, Zhao Feng said after thinking for a while. His goal of setting up a force was to spread it across the world and make it a superpower that ruled the universe for eternity. Understood, Master. Bai Kuang-yue and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight could feel how ambitious Zhao Feng was from this name alone. The forces they were in charge of were too chaotic, they indeed needed an overall name or management team. Bai Kuang-yue, the Hall Master will still be you. Zhao Feng was satisfied by Bai Kuang-yue's display. Understood. Bai Kuang-yue's heart shook. She didn't expect Zhao Feng to put so much trust in her. He was putting his lifelong goal on her shoulders. Bai Kuang-yue was extremely moved by this and was willing to serve Zhao Feng with all her ability. Black-armored Sacred Lord, you will become an assassin from now on and help expand the Silence Assassination Division. Zhao Feng waved his left hand, and a muscular male with black scaly skin appeared. Sacred Lord. The hearts of Bai Kuang-yue and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight shook. In fact, they knew this Sacred Lord. This Sacred Lord was the black-armored Sacred Lord from Nine Darkness Palace. His battle power was very likely even stronger than Supreme Emperor Dark Knight. They didn't expect their master to be able to control even a Sacred Lord from Nine Darkness Palace. The Hall of Gods would only become stronger and stronger. Thank you, Master, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight said. Although the assassination organization was expanding rapidly, they needed peak-tier experts to rise. Your next task will be even more difficult. Zhao Feng looked into the distance. The force he wanted was just about formed, but it couldn't focus only on expanding in order to achieve Zhao Feng's goal. The rise of a powerful force would mean the fall of another. Master, please tell us. The three within the hall said at the same time. They could feel that Zhao Feng was playing a very big game of chess, and they could faintly guess Zhao Feng's aim. This is your reward for years of hard work. Zhao Feng threw over 2 interspatial rings. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight and Bai Kuang-yue were both extremely talented, so Zhao Feng would make them stronger. The black-armored Sacred Lord only just joined Zhao Feng's team and hadn't done much, so there was no reward for him. Thank you, Master. Bai Kuang-yue and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight bowed once more. There was only one thing within Bai Kuang-yue's interspatial ring, but it made her extremely excited. It was a portion of 100 Origin Sacred Honey, a treasure that could increase one's chances of breaking through to the mystic light realm. Zhao Feng gave Supreme Emperor Dark Knight some peak wicked path cultivation techniques and resources. The black-armored Sacred Lord felt curious as to what Zhao Feng gave them to have such joyful and excited expressions on their faces. Bai Kuang-yue, we need to start gathering intel on Nine Darkness Palace. In order to deal with Nine Darkness Palace, they needed to pay attention to it and understand more about them. Bai Kuang-yue then left and headed back toward Yu Province. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight, your task is even more important than Bai Kuang-yue's. Zhao Feng revealed a faint smile and then started to talk to Supreme Emperor Dark Knight in private. In order to expand the Silence Assassination Division, one needed powerful assassins and plenty of fame. The Hall of Gods was enough to be the shield behind the Silence Assassination Division. Now they just needed fame. I want you to start stealing customers from Black Screen Corner. Zhao Feng told him what he was thinking. Being one of the 3 biggest underworld organizations, Black Screen Corner was also the strongest assassination organization in the continent. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight jumped up and fried at what Zhao Feng said. Luckily, it was just to pull customers over and not to offend Black Screen Corner itself. Being a former member of Black Screen Corner, he knew how terrifying it was. Then the target? Supreme Emperor Dark Knight could guess what Zhao Feng was thinking. The only business they could steal was assassinations. The Silence Assassination Division's goal was obviously to kill those from Nine Darkness Palace and other related forces. Being Nine Darkness Palace's enemy, Zhao Feng needed to strengthen himself while weakening Nine Darkness Palace at the same time. Zhao Feng told Supreme Emperor Dark Knight the plan. I will set many anonymous and expensive missions in the Silence Assassination Division and set the same mission in Black Screen Corner in order to attract their attention. Since they were stealing business, the rewards from these assassinations had to be plentiful enough to attract most experts. Zhao Feng had already thought of a perfect idea. Chapter 1044, Sacred Dr. Jade Spirit. Stealing black screen corners business and giving out plentiful rewards for the assassination tasks were the main point. The rewards that Zhao Feng gave out would definitely be something that others couldn't, and that would make countless experts go after it. Zhao Feng's figure disappeared after Supreme Emperor Dark Knight and the black-armored Sacred Lord left. Zhao Feng carefully approached the depths of the forest in the ancient Dream Realm. The original see-through ability of his left eye was heavily restricted in the ancient Dream Realm, but after his left eye turned gold and gained a light of dispersion, he could see into the depths of the forest. A clear pond lay in the middle of the forest. The water was gathered from a mountain behind it. Several dozen golden-winged scarlet tigers rested around the pond. It was at this moment that Zhao Feng realized that the golden-winged scarlet tiger he killed before was one of the weakest individuals. Zhao Feng could feel the terrifying fierce aura just by looking at two of the largest golden-winged scarlet tigers. Who tilde? One of the golden-winged scarlet tigers seemed to sense something and looked toward Zhao Feng's direction. Zhao Feng immediately moved away his gaze and concealed his aura. The strength of this golden-winged scarlet tiger is at least comparable to the late-stage mystic light realm. Zhao Feng murmured in his heart. However, in reality, the cultivation of these golden-winged scarlet tigers was only at the early-stage mystic light realm. Zhao Feng circled the area where the golden-winged scarlet tigers were resting and inspected them for a short while before finally taking action. Zhao Feng set his target on a golden-winged scarlet tiger that had left the pack. At a certain moment, Zhao Feng released a wisp of his aura, and that golden-winged scarlet tiger left the pack and headed toward Zhao Feng. This time, it'll be you. Zhao Feng immediately circulated the sacred lightning body and perfect blood devil sun bloodline as he charged at this golden-winged scarlet tiger. With the experience from last time, Zhao Feng could deal with this golden-winged scarlet tiger more easily. He knew the rhythm of battle and attacked the golden-winged scarlet tiger's flaws. The golden-winged scarlet tiger sensed Zhao Feng's power and was about to run when it sensed the strong surge of eye bloodline power coming from Zhao Feng's left eye. Wind lightning eye flame. Purple and gold fire appeared in Zhao Feng's left eye. The dark symbols of God tribulation lightning also glittered within it. Boom. A ball of transparent fire and purple golden lightning with the destructive aura of God tribulation lightning landed on the golden-winged scarlet tiger's head. This was the moment when the golden-winged scarlet tiger was weakest, and Zhao Feng immediately charged forward and unleashed a critical attack. Shoo! Zhao Feng returned to the misty spatial world with the dead golden-winged scarlet tiger. Meow meow. The little thieving cat, who was sleeping, immediately woke up with shining eyes and started to drool. No, this golden-winged scarlet tiger has other uses. Zhao Feng immediately stopped what the little thieving cat was thinking about. In the end, Zhao Feng made the little thieving cat cut the golden-winged scarlet tiger into small pieces, and he gave one of the wings to the little thieving cat. Zhao Feng then left the Ocean Smoke Pavilion branch and went on his way. He soon arrived at his destination with the help of the misty spatial world and the teleportation arrays within the cities. Long Rainbow City, St. Herb Pavilion. Welcome. Are there any herbs or pills you need? An elegant female in green immediately came forward. Zhao Feng then headed toward the 8th floor of the St. Herb Pavilion, where several emperors were picking herbs or pills. Zhou Suer, I'm coming up. Zhao Feng said before heading up the steps to the 9th floor. Who is this young person? He can go directly to the 9th floor? The owner here is an imperial. Gold hair and a golden eye. Could it be Zhao Feng? The emperors on the 8th floor were stunned. Now that the two lower dynasties were at war, all of the forces and experts paid attention to the front lines, and most had personally participated in the war at some point. Therefore, the fame that Zhao Feng obtained from defeating Sacred Lord Myriad Forms was even higher than the fame he had received in the Crown Prince trial. Zhou Suer's voice sounded the instant he arrived on the 9th floor. I thought that you would never come back here. Zhou Suer's voice seemed to be blaming him. I've come for your help this time, Zhao Feng said, and Zhou Suer's eyebrows furrowed as she stared at Zhao Feng. It was obvious that Zhao Feng had hurt her feelings. What is it? Zhou Suer sighed. She knew that Zhao Feng was the Grand Elder of the Force and was extremely busy. He was also fighting at the front lines not long ago. Furthermore, There was still a feud between Zhao Feng and Nine Darkness Palace, so he didn't exactly have much free time. I have a type of beast flesh, and I want to refine it into a pill, Zhao Feng said. Easy peasy, Zhou Su'er replied. The most precious parts of beasts were some special materials and the crystal core. However, the flesh of some beasts was also extremely unique and contained a pure energy within them. It was more suitable to craft them into pills for cultivators to use them. I need the pills to be of a certain grade. Zhao Feng was planning to use the pills refined by the flesh of the golden-winged scarlet tiger to be given out as rewards for assassinations. The assassinations would target a wide range of people, including kings and even sacred lords. Therefore, it was best to split the pills into tiers. So troublesome. Give the body of the beast to me. Zhou Su'er was curious as to what kind of rare beast Zhao Feng obtained. After all, Zhao Feng was an expert that specialized in body strengthening, and his state of existence had reached the level of a mystic light realm. The flesh of normal beasts wasn't effective for him. Zhao Feng handed over an interspatial ring. If he took out the golden-winged scarlet tiger directly, other experts might sense the aura from it. Zhou Su'er put her divine sense into the interspatial ring after looking at the mysterious and secretive Zhao Feng. This is... Zhou Su'er was completely stunned. Being a doctor, she could feel the pure aura coming from the golden-winged scarlet tiger. However, since this beast had been cut up already, she couldn't tell what it was. What a strong surge of ancient aura, Zhou Su'er immediately said. The ancient aura radiating from it was several times stronger than the aura from the imperial tombs. There's also an ancient bloodline aura from it. Did you kill an original beast with an ancient bloodline? Zhou Su'er exclaimed as she felt her bloodline tremble. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly was an original beast with an ancient bloodline. They were extremely valuable, no one would kill them to refine them into pills. It's just a beast that has a bloodline ranked in the 9,000s of the 10,000 ancient races, Zhao Feng explained. Zhou Su'er started to calm down. A beast with such a low bloodline ranking was indeed not very useful, but the thick and pure ancient bloodline and energy from it still stunned her. Stay here for a while. I've never refined an original beast with a bloodline of the 10,000 ancient races before. I need to ask my teacher, Zhou Su'er explained to Zhao Feng before leaving the Saint Herb Pavilion. Zhao Feng nodded his head. He had only taken a small portion of the golden-winged scarlet tiger's bloodline himself. Most of the golden-winged scarlet tiger's bloodline was still within its body in order to upgrade the pill's rank. Zhao Feng stayed in the Saint Herb Pavilion after Zhou Su'er left. One golden-winged scarlet tiger is nowhere near enough. The pills refined from one golden-winged scarlet tiger might be able to attract the attention of assassins, but it definitely wouldn't be able to keep them. Therefore, Zhao Feng would occasionally enter the ancient dream realm and find chances to attract away another one or two golden-winged scarlet tigers. Half a month passed, and Zhao Feng successfully managed to kill 2 more golden-winged scarlet tigers. However, at this point, the golden-winged scarlet tigers realized Zhao Feng's actions, and all of them gathered around the pond. If they went out, they went together, so it was much more difficult for Zhao Feng to kill them. I wonder what kind of uses that pond has? Zhao Feng looked at the clear pond from the forest with his transparency ability. The pond definitely had something unique about it for several dozen golden-winged scarlet tigers to rest there. Zhao Feng suddenly sensed something and left the ancient dream realm. 2 figures soon entered the 9th floor of the Saint Herb Pavilion. One of them was Zhou Su'er, while the other was an old granny with white hair and kind eyes. Zhao Feng, the pills are done. 2 jade-white bottles appeared in Zhou Su'er's hand. Zhao Feng took the bottles and scanned over them with his left eye. The 2 bottles were indeed of different grades, but they were much better than what he expected. One of the bottles consists of spiritual blood core pills, which is made from the flesh. The other consists of blood essence pills, which are made mainly from the bloodline with a small amount of flesh in it. The granny with white hair explained to Zhao Feng. This is my master, Sacred Dr. Jade Spirit. Zhou Su'er introduced. May I ask why Senior is here? Zhao Feng smiled faintly as he looked at the granny with white hair. Sacred Dr. Jade Spirit was one of the continent's top doctors. While she focused on the Tao of healing, she had also become a sacred lord. From this, one could see how talented she was. A sacred doctor would definitely not come here in person if they didn't have a reason. At the same time, Zhao Feng guessed that these pills might have been refined by Sacred Dr. Jade Spirit herself, or else the grade wouldn't be so high. Does little friend Zhao have more of these bloodlines? I'm willing to buy them for a high price. Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit said. One had to know that a favor from a sacred doctor in the continent zone was very valuable. Countless forces and experts stood behind a sacred doctor. Zhou Su'er clicked her tongue. She knew that Zhao Feng didn't have any simple intentions by taking out that flesh. Original beasts of the 10,000 ancient races are too rare. Zhao Feng replied, but he didn't decline. Does little friend Zhao have any other requests? Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit continued to ask. When she had personally refined these pills, she could feel that some of the bloodline power within the flesh had been taken away by Zhao Feng. Although she had refined some of the bloodline as well, she hadn't done much. After all, she was a sacred doctor famous across the continent. She wouldn't make it very obvious that she was stealing resources and using less effort. However, Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit was stunned by what she managed to refine through this bloodline. The purity of this 10,000 ancient races bloodline was incredibly high. Even if it was an original beast from the 10,000 ancient races that had survived from ancient times, its bloodline shouldn't have been so pure. Yes, I want to invite Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit to refine pills for the Hall of Gods for 10 years. Zhao Feng said with a faint smile. 10 years of a sacred doctor's service was far more valuable than 100 years of service from some other sacred lord expert. Zhou Su'er shook her head after the surprise passed. Her master, Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit, didn't belong to any force, and she had rejected offers even from the Imperials. May I know what little friend Zhao can give me? Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit gave a faint smile. She hadn't heard of the Hall of Gods before, but that didn't matter. Zhou Su'er paused for a moment. If a normal person said that to Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit, she would decline them right away and wouldn't refine pills for them in the future. However, this time, her master didn't decline and instead seemed to be interested. Zhao Feng took out an interspatial ring and then spoke. Senior should know what kind of beast this flesh comes from, right? Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit took the interspatial ring and scanned through it with her divine sense. She instantly became dazed. It was obvious that her entire focus was on the interspatial ring. Chapter 1045, Assassinations. Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit instantly became dazed. It was obvious that her entire focus was on the interspatial ring. An original beast of the 10,000 ancient races lay there, dead. Although dead, it still gave off a fierce and powerful aura. Such power, such pure 10,000 ancient races bloodline, and an original aura of heaven and earth. Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit wanted to start inspecting the golden-winged scarlet tiger right now, but her consciousness returned to her body. Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit's eyes regained light once more back in the Saint Turb Pavilion, and she immediately spoke. It's settled then. Master, you agreed? Zhou Su'er immediately asked. At the same time, Zhou Su'er was extremely curious as to what Zhao Feng took out for Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit to agree to him when she even rejected the Imperials. What? Do you not want me to help him? Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit asked and smiled at Zhou Su'er. Zhou Su'er's face went slightly red, and she didn't speak anymore. Senior, thank you. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. He didn't expect to meet Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit during his visit. Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit joining the Hall of God should be able to increase its fame. If Zhao Feng wanted any more pills in the future, he could just come find this Sacred Doctor. Does Senior need to prepare anything? Zhao Feng asked. Since Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit agreed to serve the Hall of Gods for 10 years, she would need to move to the Hall of Gods. Let's go. Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit said directly. 10 years was just the tap of a finger for a sacred lord. When she arrived at the Hall of Gods would be responsible for the resources she needed to refine pills. Zhou Su'er, we'll be leaving. Zhao Feng smiled. Although they agreed upon 10 years, Zhao Feng was confident that he could get Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit to stay even after 10 years. I'll come as well. Zhou Su'er immediately said after seeing Zhao Feng about to leave with her master. Zhao Feng instantly paused. He didn't know what Zhou Su'er was thinking. I want to be with master. Zhou Su'er immediately stood next to Sacred Doctor Jade Spirit. You're not going to care about the Saint Turb Pavilion? Zhao Feng asked. The Saint Turb Pavilion will also join the Hall of Gods. Zhou Su'er said without even thinking. Then let's go. Zhao Feng didn't know what was going on with Zhou Su'er, but the Saint Turb Pavilion was one of the top herb markets in Yuan province. It would be obviously good if they joined the Hall of Gods. This meant that the Hall of Gods now had professionals in charge of pills and herbs, allowing them to expand. Zhao Feng appeared next to them and waved his left arm. Whoosh! Silver light appeared around the three as their figures started to fade and disappear. The next instant, they appeared outside a spiritual palace. This is the ability to pass through space? Sacred Dr. Jade's spirit was faintly surprised. It was obvious that she didn't pay much attention to the outside world, so she didn't know that Zhao Feng had obtained the misty spatial world. So much energy was used. Zhao Feng murmured. A lot more energy was used this time since Zhao Feng had taken 2 more people along with him, including Sacred Dr. Jade's spirit, who was a sacred lord. The 3 of them then used the teleportation array within the spiritual palace. Zhao Feng gave an order when they arrived at the branch of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, accept the Saint Herb Pavilion into the Hall of Gods. The 3 of them then continued their journey and headed toward Yu Province. Zhao Feng would rest after using the ability to pass through space twice, recovering his true yuan. They soon arrived at the Hall of Gods in Yu Province a couple dozen days later. This was the first time Zhao Feng had seen the newly built Hall of Gods. The Hall of Gods was set on a range of mountains. The path was dangerous, and it was surrounded by clouds and mist. The palace was magnificent and perched either on the mountains or in the cliffs. Zhao Feng had already communicated with Bai Kuang Yue with the Dark Heart Seal beforehand. Bai Kuang Yue was already waiting at the entrance. Grand Elder, Senior Sacred Dr. Jade's spirit, please come on in. Bai Kuang Yue looked at Zhao Feng in awe. In just the short span of a month or 2, Zhao Feng had invited another sacred lord, Sacred Dr. Jade's spirit, who was famous across the continent. Bai Kuang Yue, organize a herb building and give it to Sacred Dr. Jade's spirit. Zhao Feng ordered, then they all entered the Hall of Gods. Zhao Feng, Bai Kuang Yue, and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight gathered together in a secret hall after letting Sacred Dr. Jade's spirit and Zhou Suer settle in. Master, here is some news regarding 9 Darkness Palace and Black Screen Corner. Bai Kuang Yue organized a mountain of intel, but Zhao Feng was able to see through it all and memorize it with his eye bloodline. Master, I suggest putting some of them down as assassination targets. Bai Kuang Yue reported to Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng nodded his head. Bai Kuang Yue's analysis was always very good. It was easy to assassinate members of 9 Darkness Palace or anyone else, but it would gradually become more difficult. Therefore, the first people they assassinated couldn't be wasted on random people. After confirming their tactics, Zhao Feng gave the task of putting the missions on the Silence Assassination Division to Supreme Emperor Dark Knight. Master, are you going to head personally to Black Screen Corner? Supreme Emperor Dark Knight asked. Zhao Feng had discussed the plan with Supreme Emperor Dark Knight a long time ago. Putting up the missions in the Silence Assassination Division alone wasn't enough. They also needed to put the same missions up in Black Screen Corner in order to attract the attention of assassins and experts. Zhao Feng believed that the rewards he was willing to give out would definitely catch the interest of the assassins. After letting them get a taste of it, Zhao Feng would only put the missions in the Silence Assassination Division. No, I'll let someone else go in my place. Zhao Feng had been planning to personally go to Black Screen Corner, but since Black Screen Corner was a bit far away from Yu Province and not in range of the misty spatial world, Zhao Feng had to give this secret task to someone else. He didn't dare to take it easy, so Zhao Feng could only give this task to someone that he had enslaved. A skinny and wrinkled figure soon arrived after Bai Kuang Yue and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight left. Master, do you have any orders? The newcomer was Emperor Withered Shadow. Emperor Withered Shadow was the assassin that tried to kill Old Monster Shu, but he was enslaved by Zhao Feng instead and became an upper echelon of the new assassination organization. Emperor Withered Shadow, go to Black Screen Corner and put up missions for me. Zhao Feng and Emperor Withered Shadow both disappeared from the secret hall after all the orders were given. Later that day, many new assassination tasks appeared in the strongholds of Yu Province. They were all mainly related to 9 Darkness Palace. This should be sent by a force opposing 9 Darkness Palace. I only care about the rewards. I don't care who the target is. An assassin with a pale white face licked his lips. Spiritual blood core pills? They contain large amounts of energy and strength in one's bloodline. They can also increase the chances of awakening one's bloodline. This is a lie, right? An assassin didn't believe what the reward was. The description of the spiritual blood core pills was too unrealistic, especially the part that said it could increase one's bloodline power and chances of awakening their bloodline. Such a spiritual pill was invaluable. The Silence Assassination Division won't set up missions with fake rewards. Furthermore, it seems the Sacred Doctor made it, an elder with a weak aura said. Pills made by Sacred Doctors increased the grade of the pills. If pills of the same kind were made by a Grand Master and a Sacred Doctor, the latters would be more expensive, and most people would be willing to buy from them instead. I'll accept this task. The cold assassin with a pale white face took the task and left in a hurry. In a forbidden area in the backyard of the Hall of Gods was where Zhao Feng stayed. Zhao Feng walked around the depths of the forest in the ancient dream realm. After killing a few more golden-winged scarlet tigers, none of them leave by themselves anymore. Zhao Feng felt slightly depressed. Only the owl bird, black eagle, and giant python could fight for him in the ancient dream realm, but their battle power wasn't on the same level as the golden-winged scarlet tigers. Looks like I need to raise a force within the ancient dream realm to obtain resources for me. Zhao Feng finally realized, but he didn't know where to find anything. It was already hard enough to deal with the golden-winged scarlet tigers. Looks like I'll have to start with the beasts inside the misty spatial world then. Zhao Feng's gaze deepened. Zhao Feng only had 2 beast packs and the 5 poison distinct beasts after giving 2 beast packs to the 9th prince. These 2 beast packs had become much stronger with the help of Zhao Feng's resources, but it still wasn't enough to fight back against the golden-winged scarlet tigers. This meant that only the 5 poison distinct beasts remained. At the end, Zhao Feng chose a couple dozen bee kings and 10 bee emperors and took them into the ancient dream realm. This was the first time Zhao Feng was taking living beings into the ancient dream realm. Of course, the 5 poison distinct bees would have to live here in the future as well. The 5 poison distinct bees were uncomfortable at the beginning, but they were ancient insects, and Zhao Feng had only picked bee kings and bee emperors, so their adaptive abilities were very strong. After surviving in the ancient dream realm for a short while, the aura of these 5 poison distinct bees became stronger. Let them adapt to the environment, then prepare to target the pond in the middle of the forest, Zhao Feng decided. At this moment in time, a purple and blood-colored figure swept past the ocean smoke pavilion. This seems to be an intel agency. Nan Gong-Shang looked at the ocean smoke pavilion below. This is the Hall of Gods. What does Senior want? An elder flew out from the ocean smoke pavilion. Hall of Gods? Nan Gong-Shang murmured. He had no impression of this name at all. Whoosh. Nan Gong-Shang descended into the ocean smoke pavilion. Boom. The defensive array around the ocean smoke pavilion shattered as Nan Gong-Shang instantly arrived before the elder. Tell me, where's Zhao Feng? Nan Gong-Shang's face was cold and wicked. He gave off a terrifying aura that made the elder in front of him freeze. Why do you want to find the Grand Elder? Cold sweat appeared on this elder. At this moment, he finally realized how terrifying this young person was. He wasn't any weaker than old Monster Shu or Supreme Emperor Dark Knight. Hall of Gods? Grand Elder? Zhao Feng? Dark purple light flashed through Nan Gong-Shang's eyes.